Hello, everyone, and welcome back to WEI Tech Talk Podcast as we begin another episode focusing on WEI's technical apprenticeship for diverse candidates. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Michael Tranquillo, who's been participating in the apprenticeship for the past several months. So welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Therese.
Well, I'm always interested to hear about how people got their start in the technology field. So, what was it that prompted you to pursue a career in technology?
So growing up, I've definitely dabbled in a few different lines of interests, including nursing, massage therapy, human resources. Finally, I went to a point in my life where I'm just like, you know what, I need to decide on a career that I want to be in for the long term. I've always been interested in computers. I love figuring out solutions to problems, and so software engineering or development sounded like the perfect opportunity for me.
Yeah, it does. It hits all those things, and the other interests that you had really kind of have a heavy reliance on technology in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So, how did you get prepared to do this?
So I did take a 6-month boot camp.
Okay.
This is with UNH. It was quite intense, but it was actually really enjoyable. You know, it gave me the hands-on experience, gave me the technicalities I need.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, during the time was a very difficult time to get hired in the tech industry. So I came across WEI and heard about their apprenticeship program. When I contacted them for an interview, they interviewed me and we got this all settled, and it's been great so far.
Yeah, it's and just to clarify, UNH is University of New Hampshire, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So folks who aren't on the East Coast might not recognize that. And so it sounds like I think you did like a full stack program when you were there for the boot camp. Is that kind of the approach that the program took?
Yes, it focused mostly on React,
Okay.
Node.js, and stuff like that. So it was definitely full stack
Okay.
with a wide variety of tools just to help me prepare for any job I might have in the future.
Well, and that just sounds like such a great program because you don't, not to knock a regular full year 4-year degree, but you don't really need to know principles of psychology or art appreciation in order to be a really good programmer developer. And so I think it's great that the educational institutions are really starting to offer that as part of their curriculum. So good. You mentioned that as you were wrapping up the boot camp, that was kind of a time of dehiring, we'll just say, in tech.
Yeah.
And so you came across WEI's program. So talk about, some of the projects that you've been working on as part of the apprenticeship.
Yeah. So, like you said, I've only been in the apprenticeship for the last few months.
Hmm.
Uh, so I haven't done too many projects, but one that really stands out to me is working on a document builder.
Okay.
And what was fun about that is I had the chance to explore the application, add in my own twist to it. You know, I made some great efficiency moves and just made everything a lot easier to go. It takes a lot less time to do. So it was a really great opportunity to showcase what I can do.
Uh-huh. Well, and I remember us talking about that, and if I remember, you said that it peeled a lot of time off of the document creation process. So,
Yes.
remind me of what that reduction was.
Yeah, so basically what we would have to do is create a table and then nest the table with each other just to make
Mhm.
certain list elements. So I
Okay.
created a CSS class that basically just ties everything together, has most case handles. And so
Okay.
you just use that class. Sometimes you have to change the class itself, but you're not having to overly nest and complicate how you're writing it.
Okay. And when you say class, are you talking about coverage class? Because just you're working for an insurance company at this point, and so
Right.
when you say class, is that what you mean?
So we just mean HTML classes. So we
Oh,
assign
gotcha.
classes to
Okay.
certain
Gotcha.
paragraphs or sections just so that we can identify it, change it as we need.
Gotcha. Well, and anytime you can shave time out of a process and take the complexity out, it's really, I mean, it does a lot of things. It pushes the efficiency, but it also takes away the opportunity for error. Is that right?
Yes, so one issue that we had when starting is that many of the documents were not necessarily aligned the same way or styled the same way. So this just helped reduce the differences between each document and just helped us keep it consistent as well as efficient.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We've talked about, the education that you got and the work that you've been doing through this apprenticeship. And how has working on a real client's tech stack set you up for success as you look going forward?
Yeah, so one thing that I really enjoy about working on a company's tech stack, for instance, is that there's defined structure, there's timelines, deadlines, there's ways of doing things that you might not do just on a personal project, for instance.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas if you're working on something alone, you might just overly explore certain tech stacks or overdo certain things that you
Hmm.
learn to be more efficient with in these larger projects.
Well, and I mean, it's been a minute since I was in college, but the class projects that we did versus the stuff that you encounter out in real life, it's just not the same, is it?
No, it's not. Well, you definitely learn a lot though through doing those class projects. It's just
Yeah.
working with a team versus just working with one or two of you is definitely a huge difference.
Well, and also you get the benefit of experience of various levels when you're working in a actual work environment. And it sounds like the culture that you have there has been really positive. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Oh, it's probably the best team I've been on in all the jobs before.
Mhm.
They're open to making mistakes, which is a very big thing in tech. Nobody's perfect, unfortunately, and there's gonna be mistakes. And that's
Mhm.
really how you learn
Yep.
to become a developer is not by getting everything right, by getting things wrong and learning how to figure them out. So the team
I can,
really,
yeah, from personal experience, I can say the best learning experiences have been from some kind of a mistake. So
right.
that's great
So
that,
a lot
yeah.
of employers might be redundant or reluctant, I should say, to push failure on you.
Hmm.
Not necessarily
Hmm.
push failure, but accept failure. Whereas
Right.
my team says, it's going to happen. We're prepared for it. Do it and learn from it. And
Hmm.
it's changed my perspective and how I do things greatly. And I become so much better for it.
Not to put you on the spot, but what was a mistake that maybe you did learn from and got better because of it?
Oh, yeah. So going back to the document builder, when I first started it, I did maybe 10, 20 different documents that were horrendous. They did not follow up to the structure. And that's what really pushed me to be like, okay, how can I do this easily? How can I make it easier for everybody and then
Hmm.
be consistent? So that's a perfect example of, looking like a 5-year-old wrote a piece of paper on an application versus something much more controlled, styled.
Well, but again, to your point, if you don't try it and test it, you're not necessarily gonna see what does work. And I mean, if you think about it, some of our best inventions in the world were mistakes.
It's true.
3M is famous for that. The sticky notes that we can't live without anymore was a result of a failed glue.
Oh, I have them all over my computer.
Oh, yeah, I'm not even showing you my desk. That's for sure. So, let's talk a little bit about the future. What's up in the next couple of months, and maybe looking forward beyond for you?
Yeah, so I definitely love the technology field, so I'm definitely going to stay in it as long as I can.
Mhm.
Right now I'm doing full stack, which is wonderful, but I would also
Mhm.
love to just incorporate more AI technology,
Okay.
both machine learning and just application integration, and just
Mhm.
flow with the times and really become a well-rounded engineer.
Yeah, the AI. I've been using it more and more, and it's sometimes it's a little scary, but when you're using it right, it can really improve your outcomes. It can improve your efficiency. I don't ever use it like just run it and let it do its own thing. But for me, at least, it's a good sanity check on certain
Yep.
things that I think I know. But I'm hearing in the developer space, it's like a pretty decent first draft in some cases. Is that
Oh,
what you're finding?
it's definitely wonderful. Just for just like copy paste code that you would do something that you know how to do, it just
Mhm.
helps speed up the time. If you just
Yeah.
need a basic function or a basic HTML page just to start on, it's great
Mhm.
just to get that
Mhm.
first draft, and then you can really develop on it without having to worry about all the minute details, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Do you have any final thoughts to share about, this apprenticeship? So if somebody were to come to you and say, should I do this? Could I do this? What would you say to someone who would maybe be in a similar position to what you were before you got started in all of this?
So I would definitely recommend it to them. I mean, whether you have experience or no experience, WEI helps guide you through that. They'll
Hmm.
help you learn what you need to learn. So we even went through the basics again, even though I did them in boot camp, really
Hmm.
set a solid foundation so that when I did work with the company I am at now,
Hmm.
I wasn't just an intern. I wasn't just a contracted
Hmm.
employee. So I did have some good foundational skills because of WEI. So it's definitely recommended. It gets your foot in the door, if anything,
Hmm.
and it's a wonderful opportunity for sure.
Yeah, it's always great to have real life experience on your resume starting off. So,
Yes.
well, it has been great getting to know you today and hearing your story. And so, for all of you IT managers out there, visit WEI.com and learn a little bit more about this apprenticeship program and how it can make a positive change for your enterprise. And you can also follow WEI on LinkedIn. And thanks for listening today.